Hello, Gaming Ring. We're here at E3 with Gamers First, showcasing their up-and-coming title, APB Reloaded.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going fine. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
All right. Well, let's just start out by just going over the basics. So, what does APB entail?
APB Reloaded is your basic cops and robbers MMO shooter. So it's a third-person shooter. You basically get into game. You can either play an enforcer who's been selected by the city to enforce the laws, or a criminal who's hell-bent on creating anarchy. So it's an online game. You can go to apb.com and download it anytime, and it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, how about showing us some footage?
Sure. This is an enforcer in the game right now. He's standing around not doing anything, but APB has a pretty powerful 3D engine, as you can totally
It's one of my favorites, the Unreal Engine.
Yes, it uses Unreal 3. So really what we've been working on with APB Reloaded is improving the game's basic core functions, shooting, driving, and character progression. And as you can see, the game looks gorgeous, and it is a massive, crazy world with people driving by all the time. So the main crux of the game is to get missions and kill. I'm playing an enforcer right now, so kill criminals and stop them from doing crimes. And like I said, in the game you can get into vehicles, you can climb over stuff. It's a pretty immersive world once you're involved. And this person is now in my way. And there's while you're playing on each of there's 3 different types of districts, action districts we call them. There's the social district, there's the financial district, and there's the waterfront district. We're in the financial district right now, and there's about 100 players in each district with you. Those are players there driving around creating a muck. So one of the nice things about APB is it really has an open world feel. So if you're playing an enforcer and you see a criminal committing a crime, you can actually go and arrest that criminal as they commit the crime. And if you're a criminal, you can do things like rob stores, you can mug little pedestrians that are walking past, you can steal cars and take them back to chop shop. There's a lot of different things you can do. Of course, as an enforcer, you kind of don't want to break laws, like, you know, knocking over fire hydrants or killing pedestrians. It's usually a bad thing, and you'll actually get a penalty for doing it. But as a criminal, you can do all that stuff and get bonuses.
What type of penalty would you receive?
So when you complete missions, you actually have what we call it notoriety. Both enforcers and criminals have it. And as you complete missions, your notoriety level increases. That's your notoriety right there. So what happens when you kill, as an enforcer, when you kill a criminal or you commit a crime, your notoriety drops, which is a bad thing. Because when you complete missions, you get bonuses based on your notoriety. And then we have for our witnessing mechanic, where if, like I said earlier, if I see a criminal as an enforcer committing a crime, I can arrest that criminal and then take his loot. And then I can take that loot back to the bank, and I get a bonus for the loot that I took. So that bonus, though, is based on my notoriety. So you don't really want to commit crimes if you're an enforcer. And if you're a criminal, you want to run amok as much as possible. So we've been working on a lot of different things for APB Reloaded. One of the new things that we actually just implemented a few weeks ago is the skill rating system. Previously, the game didn't have a system that would really rank people and rate players based on their skill. We've implemented that system now, and actually we're working on revamping the matchmaking so that the matchmaking uses all those characters' rankings to...
Speaking of the system, do you personally think the 4-on-2 mission status is actually kind of fair? Because I'm personally having some problems with the various mission types.
One of the things we're doing with the matchmaking changes is actually to adjust some of those problems. The current matchmaking system doesn't really take into account important things like having 7 players against 1 player probably isn't that fair. Now, a patch we're about to go out with today is going to edit some of that, so it limits how big a group can get, so it will stop things like that. But when we actually release the full matchmaking changes later this month, those changes will actually more than anything really improve that, so you won't get into missions where there's just you against a flurry of noobs.
I'm happy it's being worked on.
Yeah. We also have something else we're working on called district recommendation, where basically each district will recommend what level of players should be in the district. So before you even enter the district, you'll know whether or not you should be in that district, and it'll also help with that situation. So on the design side of things, we're actually working on some other things, like a brand new district, the Asylum, which we've talked a little bit about, which is basically a criminal rave zone, and the enforcers come in and they clean the place out. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a back and forth mission or an event where players will fight for control or domination over the asylum. We're also working on turf wars, which will be applied to both the waterfront where we are right now and the financial district. And we're also working on clan warfare, which is what I'm most excited about, which is a new system where basically clans will be able to get together and get put into a match against another clan, and then they'll all be thrown into a district with just those clans to fight over each other, to fight with each other.
I heard about the possibility of implementing a racing system.
We are talking very deeply about racing. We actually have some prototype races working right now. We're also looking at making a specific racing district. So racing is, I think the big three for the rest of this year is really, after we get the matchmaking changes done, is really clan warfare, which is the clans versus clan system, the asylum, and racing. So that is on deck, and we definitely want to do it.
So any estimated dates, like for example, a few months or towards the end of the year?
So clan warfare will probably happen in the next few months. After that, we're actually trying to determine which way we'll go, asylum or racing, and we'll do one or the other, and then we'll do the other one that we didn't do, one or the other than the other one.
Any idea how long APB Reloaded is planning on staying in the open beta status?
We'll probably be in open beta for the majority of the summer. We're actually looking at launching near the end of the summer, so not that much longer.
All right, well, I have a bunch of questions here. I just need to get my iPhone out.
Yeah, questions. Quiet for the peanut gallery.
Okay, let's first start off addressing the less than lethal weapon system. Okay, our first question here. In order to better balance the game between the two factions, will criminals ever be able to obtain a version of the less than lethal weapon system? Possibly an implementation of the stun knife, or a version of flash or gas grenades?
We're talking a lot about less than lethal. That's a hard question to answer right now, but it's something that we've talked about. We've also talked about maybe giving, because one of the reasons why less than lethal is the way it is because criminals can commit crimes. So we've been talking about doing things like maybe we should allow enforcers to do raids and stuff like that, so they can make money just the same way criminals can, and then we can proliferate those weapons. We'll see. We're still really early in the development stage on less than lethal, but we know that there's a lot of concerns with it. There are some less than lethal weapons that are pretty powerful, and it's hard for criminals to get away from. And there are some that aren't, and we're looking at those as well.
Okay, this brings me to our next question. If the current less than lethal weapon system will remain intact, will any changes be made to address the mechanics of the rest system? As it presently stands, it feels like this system is being used as a griefing tool by the enforcers. This is especially true on one-on-one missions.
Yeah, so there is it is true that there are sometimes that enforcers do get situations where they can trapping a criminal into being arrested over and over again. That's something we want to address.
I do have a suggestion here. Okay, a few suggestions would be to decrease the overall duration of the system, or implement a so-called surrender feature to directly advance you to your nearest respawn location.
Well, probably what is more likely to happen is, I don't want to say a solution that we've only really talked about a little bit, but what is more likely is going to happen is we do something where we would limit the ability to have that feature be exploited the way that we're seeing it being exploited. We're seeing exactly what you guys are talking about.
The extra 16 or 20 seconds is really frustrating to a lot of players being out of combat.
It definitely
away
is.
from the game.
And those are things we're talking about right now. And right now with dying, you know, it's a 12-second countdown, and so the edit time can be frustrating. So those are things that we're looking at. There may be changes in the future that will address a lot of those concerns.
Okay. I hope you don't mind me talking about the Punk Buster system.
Sure.
Okay, I have a lot of questions here.
I don't know how many I can answer. I'll start by saying,
you can say no comment, that's fine.
Yeah, like Fight Club, the first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. But I'll try to answer whatever I can.
Okay, in your opinion, how truly effective is the Punk Buster system in filtering out third-party applications involving exploits? We hear that you find the system a success, but we continually encounter aimbotters throughout the community.
So, the Punk Buster has actually been extremely well. In fact, there have been several major sites who have been very upset with us because Punk Buster has taken out their community one by one over and over and over again. So it's done really well. We're working right now on implementing a hardware banning solution. That it's funny, some of the cheat sites who don't think we actually know what they're doing say that they'll be able to get around it. They won't. And so right now, Punk Buster is doing well. It is a lot of a cat and mouse game. The reality is, because the way aimbotting works, it's one of those things where there's no permanent solution. There isn't. There are people who have given us suggestions, and we're looking at a lot of suggestions, but there isn't a permanent solution. But Punk Buster, for what it is and what it does, has been working extremely well.
Okay, you may not be able to address this next question here. Going a little bit more in depth into the system mechanics of Punk Buster, is it possible to circumvent the system by disabling the Punk Buster software once inside the game districts? This was rumored to be true in the original version of APB.
It is not. It was originally an APB because Punk Buster wasn't actually turned on when the game was first live. Now that Punk Buster's on, the server is looking for it. So if you don't have it on, if you try to disable it, the server's just going to kick you.
Okay.
So when you see people complaining about losing key packets, that's what's happening. Punk Buster's going, hey, you're not on, you're gone.
Okay, for the entire community, what is the best way to report potential hackers?
Submit a ticket. gamersfirst.com/support. That's absolutely the best way to do it. We get reports all the time. There's always a person there who's taking the reports and looking at them. And especially if you submit the ticket, as soon as you see something happen, someone can go in-game and find that player right away. So far, though, Punk Buster's has been doing a really good job, but we definitely know, like, we have GMs on staff 24/7. So submit a ticket, let us know. Send a screenshot if you want or a video capture, that's great. But as soon as you see it spinning a ticket, that's what we need.
Okay, I was personally wondering if the in-game bug report system actually works.
Yes, we are getting all those bug reports. When you crash, we get the crash report. Even if it doesn't look like it completed, we get it. So we're getting a lot of really great feedback from the community.
Okay, when APB Reloaded officially launches, how often will the ban system be enforced, as in daily, weekly, or monthly ban?
Currently, we have the ban system. I guess maybe I'd want a little more clarification. Do you mean by what you mean by ban system?
Like when a Punk Buster detects an illegal third-party application, will the ban occur automatically, or will it go out on a week-to-week basis, or in a big batch?
It's currently happening automatically. I can't really say more than that, but it is currently happening automatically. Probably not the way that players think it's happening, but it's happening automatically.
Okay, if a player is successfully able to bypass the Punk Buster system, will we ever be able to see a manual banning occur?
We do manual bans as well. That's, again, submit a ticket. You see someone who you think is cheating, submit a ticket, and we'll have someone look at the character.
Okay, you may not be able to answer this question as well. Is it true that friendly fire can be disabled through illegal third-party applications?
We've heard rumors of this. We actually have in our possession pretty much every current live hack and cheat. We have not seen any of them work. One of the cheat sites may be talking about doing something like that. We have not seen it work. It's all server side, so it would be something very difficult to do.